If you want to know what is going to happen in the transport sector in Latin America and how the small businesses can profit, then make sure you follow this episode of Island Wealth Channel. Yes, we are live. Let me show you. As you know, my name is Rooney Calmera and welcome to the show. I am the host of the Island Wealth, the place where we create wealth for island nations in the Caribbean and also in the world. Today I'm going to show you what I've been working on during a long time, but I'm going to just show you something where we can make money in the Caribbean. If you have any questions, just ask your questions below. And any questions you might have is okay with me because I'm trying to answer that question. For the people who doesn't know me, I am an economist. My work is in data science, artificial intelligence, macroeconomics, simulation, and investing. And why do you want to care about that? Because I can help you understand how the global economy works, how the island economy works, what's going to happen with money printing, with the savings in your bank account, and also opportunities like today, opportunities for making money. And I'm going to show you right away, going to my screen, showing you right away a map. And you see here the map of, let me go a little bit out of this map. You see this map of, let's say, Latin America. You see many countries in there: Honduras, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, and you see, you don't see El Salvador, but you see Ecuador. So all these countries, and Brazil, of course, Brazil here. You see all these countries that have a huge population. So imagine you want to make money in the transportation sector. Imagine you are a business and it could be an online business, it could be a business in the Caribbean, it could be a business in one of these countries, it could be a business in Europe, but you are interested in making island wealth. You want to tap into all these large populations of Colombia, Guatemala, Suriname, Brazil, Peru. How would you work? What would you do? Tell me in the comments below, wherever you are. You could be in LinkedIn. We are also streaming on YouTube today. Tell me what you would do, and I will tell you what I would do. So the focus is you want to make money in the transportation sector. And you might be on one of the islands in the Caribbean. Let me focus on the Caribbean. In there, you might be one of these islands in the Caribbean, in the Eastern Caribbean. I have macroeconomic investment frameworks for all these islands in the Eastern Caribbean. You might be in Aruba, in Curacao. I'm streaming right now from Curacao. You might be in here, but you want to make money. For instance, on Curacao, we have a planning and they want to be the hub of Latin America. I've seen that in many documents. Curacao wants to be the hub of the Latin America. And maybe other islands right here also wants to be the hub of Latin America. Let me focus again on Latin America. How would you make that money? How would you approach that project? Okay, so let me tell you what I would do. What I would do is I'm going to build a business case right now, and the business case is going to be how can we make money in Latin America by actually offering services, to the transportation sector. Now, the first thing to do is you want to look at what countries. Now, you want to look at the companies that are already making money in that region regarding, for instance, flight or container. Because all this population, all these people that we see here on screen, we can calculate the population. It will be in millions, and these people, they need food. They need food. That's the first one. They need their iPhones. They need their television. They need their anything. Their refrigerators. They need their cars. So the stuff they're buying, that's transportation. It comes through the sea or it comes through the air. So there are two ways, either planes or container movement businesses, that they are in the transportation business. So if you focus on that, if you focus on the transportation business, the first lesson is it's going to be containers through ships, and the second one is going to be people transport through the air. It can be also transport of people, but that's a separate section. Do you agree with that? So the first one we want to know what is the population of this, how has the population grown, and which country has the largest population, because the containers are driven by economic activity and by the population. If you have no population, then, or population decrease, then you will see that transportation to that region, to that country, has decreased. If you have a growing population, then you will see that the transportation to that region and to that specific country has increased. So we want a historic graph of the population of the past. That's my indicator. And I told you, I'm an investor, I'm an advisor to investors, and I'm also investing in equity, in stocks, I'm investing in Bitcoin, I'm investing also in villas, precious villas, real estate. So you want to look at your indicators. You want to create a business model of this case, how we're going to make money. We are in services. So I'm going to focus, as we are in the Caribbean here, and we have all kinds of businesses. I would like to focus on the businesses providing data analytic services to the transportation sector. Okay, I have a great expert that I'm working with in the Netherlands right now, Hazel. Hazel, shout out to Hazel. Hazel is a super expert in the Netherlands. She is basically an expert in the transportation sector and in data science. And if you want to contact Hazel, just put your link below and we will let Hazel contact you. She has her own business and she can help you in the transportation sector. But if you are a company in the Caribbean and you want to tap into that market, I would suggest you would like to be in the services business, because you are not going to transport all these containers, all these people. You're not going to be able to transport them to Martinique, to Dominica, to Montserrat, Antigua, to maybe Puerto Rico. You are tapping in the value chain of the transportation sector. It doesn't mean that any container has to come to you. That's a mistake what the most people do. They think mistake they make. They think that when you are in that business that you need to actually see container. On Curacao we see no containers, but we could still be in that business. On Dominica, you could see no containers anywhere, but you are still in the container business, because everything That's the second point I want to make. Everything happens virtually. There is a much larger virtual economy, digital economy. It's going to be powered by Bitcoin and Lightning. In another episode, I'm going to tell you that. It's going also to be powered by software development, ICT. So if you are in the ICT business, on one of those islands we are seeing here, then you have a future. If you are in artificial intelligence on one of these islands, you have a great future, because it doesn't matter where you are, you can provide services to the transportation sector. So let's move in. We are in the services. We need to build a business case. We know that we need to look at the population of these countries, and we need to look at the history of the population. We need to have something on the future of the population growth. We need to be able to select which of these countries have the biggest population and the biggest growth. We need to, the third point, we need to know which of these countries have a high income. Because if you have a huge population growth, but you don't have any income, then probably there will be less transportation, or less transportation of iPhones, less transportation of high value product. That means that the transaction costs, we would get a fee of the transportation services. So the transaction costs are going to be lower if you have only agricultural products, which less value added, needed, but much less value added than an iPhone, than a refrigerator, than sophisticated engineered stuff from China. Okay? So what is the GDP per capita? What is the income per capita? We also want to know that indicator. Okay? So we want to have a ranking of all these indicators. Now, I'm going to move back and show you my face, because in the meantime, I'm going to work on the next picture and the next thing I want to show you. So I'm going to take this thing away in the background, and I'm going to move to the second part, because now we're going to dive into make it a little bit more realistic for, let's say, the companies. So let's look at the sectors of the economy. Let me see sectors of the economy. And now what you see here is actually, let me see, can I make it a little bit smaller? So what you see here is I have presented to you a ranking of the top, the top companies in the world, with their market cap. A market cap is nothing more than the total amounts of shares outstanding times the price of that share. Now, if you want to do business with companies, you might want to look at their market cap. Are they traded on exchanges? Are they big enough? And can you buy them? So that's another way to get wealth, because you could be in the Caribbean and you could be invested in the transportation sector without actually seeing any transportation sector. So again, I'm here at Island Wealth Channel. We are here to provide you insights so that you can grow your wealth. And if you want to participate in one of our programs, our training programs that are going live, I'm at the end of this episode. Stay till the end, because then I'm going to show you a link where you can click on, and for free, you can put your name and your email in there, and then we will contact you. By putting your name and your email there for free, you raise your hand saying, hey, Rooney, I want to know more. I want to know more how to build my wealth. And I might be interested in one of your educational programs. If you invest in that in educational program, you invest in the island wealth channel, and you're part of the community of people that want to create more wealth. And you can create wealth and live the island wild lifestyle like I am doing. So we have programs for that, but those programs, they support this island wealth channel so that I can provide these kind of screen shares episodes for you. So what are you going to see here? You're seeing here the companies ranked by market cap. And what is this? What is actually happening here? Why do you want to be looking at the companies by market cap? One, you can buy them. All these companies, you can buy them. You can buy the stock of NVIDIA. You can buy it. It is 3.3 trillion market cap. Just to give you some indication, the market cap of Curacao, or let's say the total economy of Curacao, not the market cap, but the total economy of Curacao is 2.5 billion US dollars. Okay? So only NVIDIA, that company producing GPUs, chips, etc., has a 3.3 trillion market cap, much larger. I think it's about, let's say, 500 times 3, 1,500 times the economy of whole Curacao. So while we were looking at all those small islands in the region, NVIDIA only has more market cap than your whole economy. I'm linking market cap, which is a balance sheet item, with the economy, which is a flow indicator. But just to give you some indication, how big are these companies? Okay, now you could be buying NVIDIA. I'm not saying NVIDIA. There is no financial advice here. In my programs, I also don't give you financial advice because I don't know your specific situation. So it's only for educational purposes. But what you see here is if you would buy NVIDIA stock, then you are participating in the business of NVIDIA. Okay, but why are we here? We are not here to looking only at NVIDIA, etc. We are looking here to build our business case of investing in the transportation sector in Latin America. So let's look at the ranking of those stocks, equity. But I want to look at the ranking, but I want to take a look at other categories. And one of the categories I want to look at is the ports. So who is in the port business? So you see, who is in the port business? And who is the biggest company in the port? Because all those containers, they have to come through the ports. So who is the biggest partner I need to focus on? Who is the biggest business that is earning money in ports? It could be ports in Latin America, ports in the region, in Caribbean, but we are now focused on Latin America. So who is the biggest company that I can buy, that you can buy in that region? Ports. So Adani Ports is a 36 billion market cap business, and their stock is just only $16. I can be looking at their stocks, but in that, I'm not going to look at that stock right now. You know, they are an Indian company. So let me just shout out to Hazel again. Hazel, my expert. Hazel is just the person I go to when I want to do a transportation business indicator, and hopefully maybe in the future we can invite her. She's very, very busy, but we might be inviting her to interview her for one of these episodes. And if you are an expert in the transportation sector, if you are living in the Caribbean on an island If you are in Latin America, you're looking at this, you want to participate, you have some value to offer to my Community of Island Wealth channel. Those are islands, all the 57 islands in the world, but it's not only Caribbean. There are 57 small island economies or big ocean economies in the world, and I am the Island Wealth channel is for the 57 at least official. They're calling them the SIDS, Small Island Development States, but I'm calling them Big Ocean Development States. So the Big Ocean Development, Big Ocean Island, Big Ocean Island Wealth channel. We can do that. If you are living there, if you are interested there, if you are an expert on that, please contact me. So here you see Adani Ports, 36 billion economy, India. So we need to go to India to contact these people because they are in the ports business. CK Hutchinson Holdings, 20 billion. We have, and this is from Hong Kong. Of course, Hong Kong is a transportation logistics center, just like Rotterdam also. I don't see any company from Europe here. So that would be the global. These are the global players. So you could be looking at the revenues and all these things of the company, of course. But I'm not going to dive into there. These are all the indicators: earnings, revenue, PE ratio, which is the price equity ratio. You need to have a good ratio when you are doing business with these, the dividend, operating margin, employees, etc. So China Merchants, that's a Hong Kong. International Container Terminal Services, Philippines. No European. Abu Dhabi Ports, UAE. West Ports, Malaysia. You see here, Port of Tauranga, New Zealand. So there are no, in the top 10, there are no European. Okay, there is Germany here, Hamburger Hafen. Okay, but Rotterdam Ports is not in there. We could be looking at that. So these are the port companies that you can trade and that you can buy. Another way to look at it is courier services. So let's look at the courier services. These are the small packets. So you see, I'm building my business case already. I know which partners I should invite and which companies I should focus on, because these are the big companies. Okay? So in our programs, you will learn this. This is just 1 hour maybe. We're going 1 hour on this. I'm already 30 minutes on this. But in our programs, we will dive in and we will show you investment strategies, how you can make money out of this, how you can make the deals, what you should bet on, analyzing these companies to see what's going to happen in the transportation. Because whatever happens, the Latin American people, they need to eat, right? They need to eat, they need to live. So this transportation business is a physical business and it's going to stay there forever. It might decrease a little bit, but it is going to stay there. Okay? So if we from the Caribbean, that's our business case, let's keep focused. If we from the Caribbean want to tap into this business, tell me below, what services would you deliver to these companies we are seeing here? How can you tap into the value chain and the business case of these companies? What do you think the business model of these companies will look like? And there is a business model canvas where you can show the business model in just one page. What do you think the business model of these United Parcel Services is? What are their workflow? How are they organized, and where can you tap in with your business? Would you, another question, would you believe that somebody from the Caribbean having artificial intelligence knowledge like me or in my network that has programming skills, data science skills, that can analyze millions of records right away? Do you believe that that person can tap into the value chain of one of these companies and deliver a service that they cannot do themselves. They are working maybe with other businesses in Latin America, a whole ecosystem of businesses in Latin America. Do you believe that somebody from the Caribbean can offer a service, a dashboard, a workflow, an analytical service, a software service, an app, whatever? Do you believe a training to one of these businesses in Latin America related to these parts? Do you believe that, or don't you believe that? Do you see that or not? And how much money can you earn from businesses that already have a market cap of 160 billion, 66 billion FedEx, DHL Group 48 billion. I'm not saying all this money is in the Caribbean or in Latin America, but a part of DHL Group, FedEx, United Parcel Service, is probably going to be in Latin America, depending on the Latin America population, GDP per capita. Japan Post, 30 billion. So these are basically 30 billion companies in the courier business alone. Now let me just look at their earnings, because I just want to look at the earnings, because the earnings and the revenue gives you more information, right? So look at this. The earnings of these companies, profit, is 6.7 billion, 6.3 billion, 6.1 billion. The revenue they're making is 89 billion, 88 billion, 87 billion. So somebody is making a lot of money of the transportation business. Do you agree? Some of these couriers, they can make a lot of money of the the transportation business. Now let's look at their PE ratio. PE ratio of 2. That is very okay. So this is a different ranking. The PE ratio of 2 is very cheap. Very cheap. PE ratio means the price and the earnings. So price divided by earnings. How much are you paying for this company? Twice. This is 2.5 their earnings. 10 times their earnings. So when it becomes like 16%, 16 times, 16x, then it's maybe too much. Nvidia, you're paying 79, 80 last. So this is PostNL. PostNL is from NL. They're making a loss. So this is the PE ratio, market cap. Now, so that's the ranking of the couriers. Now I want to look at the Boeing, the aircraft market, the airports, or maybe the airlines. You see, so the airlines are related to the transportation business, because the airlines, they transport the people, not the stuff, but the people. You see? So I could click here on the airlines and I see the market cap is Delta, Ryan, United Airlines, Interglobe Aviation, Southwest, Singapore. So I would take the top 10 of these companies and then see if they have business in Latin America. I could send this to ChatGPT or to another large language model through my Python models and my Python framework that I teach in the course and the boot camp and the program, whatever you want to call it. But it's an 8-week boot camp that's going live again in January, mid-January. You want to click on the link after this episode, because you want to raise your hand to go to the VIP lounge, and in the VIP lounge you will be treated like a king that wants to increase and maintain their wealth. And then once the program opens again mid-January 2025, you're going to get a notification as one of the first people. And then there will be maybe only 50 spots this time. And then if there are 50 spots, they're going right away like warm bread. And why do I say that? Because these 50 people, they will have an 8-week meeting with me on a weekly basis, and they can bring their projects to automate with Python. That's how we do it. And now there we learn, we teach you how to do these kind of things. We teach you basically how to dive into, get all this data, analyze this data. If you are interested in buying stocks, investing, analyze this, boom, create a program that does this for you and then gives you an advice. The other way, if you want to calculate this market cap, I would not, my people, they don't go and type all this into a calculator. They download this information and they let their Python program do it, and they send it to artificial intelligence right away, either on their computer or on ChatGPT or whatever other program, and then automate it. They have made their life easier, automated their boring stuff. And you need to automate your boring stuff so that you can create wealth. Because if you're thinking 8 hours a day, doing all the manual stuff, you don't have time to think about this. Okay? So you see here already that we have seen 2 types of largest airlines by market cap, etc. And these are the companies that are earning money. Now, you might want to just look at what else do we have in that sector of transportation. We have the airports, we have the companies in beverages, we have the companies in the ports. So we can go dive in to see specific things related to companies in these sectors. Now, imagine you are in the health sector. You are in the health sector and you are only interested in transportation services of health products. What would you do? What would you do? That's a question. Focus. So look at this, pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals is kind of a sector. Who are the players in the pharmaceutical business, in the transportation sector? So Eli Lilly, Novo Nordisk, Johnson & Johnson, AbbVie, Merck, Roche. Do you think they are already in Latin America? Do you think these companies, the top 5 companies, or top 5 or top 10, do you think they are already making money in Latin America? When you are in a shop in Ecuador, you are in a shop in Brazil, you are in a shop in El Salvador, you are in a shop in Argentina, do you think you will buy a product, one pharmaceutical product of one of these companies? What is the chance? What is the chance that you will buy a product that you are already having in your bathroom, where you put your medicine, or in your refrigerator? Do you think you have a product of these 5 companies I'm showing you here? Do you think, what is the chance if you are living in Latin America? So that's what we're talking about. We are analyzing, we are using data to build our business case. Now, I'm already 42 minutes in this show, and I want to now move to just show you a little bit of how we do it. Because we have already scanned we started with a general picture of the map of all these countries. We focus on Latin America. We could have focused on Middle East, on United Arab Emirates, on Saudi Arabia. We could have focused there. We could have focused in Asia, Hong Kong, in China. But we focus now Latin America. We could have focused to Europe. So that's why I created a framework to analyze the world, to analyze all countries in the world. It works through an API. An API is an application programming interface. So forget about that. What it is, it's an interface to a computer with data. And what you can also do is you can tell the computer, a software on the other side, that you want that data. And you can say, give me all the flights to Latin America. Give me all the container to Latin America. That's what you need, an API. So if you are a software developer, a business owner in the Caribbean, and you don't understand these kind of things, you want to dive deeper in, because this is related to your wealth, how you can generate more money, you can contact me. At the end of this episode, I'm going to show you a link. You can contact me. But if you also have a workflow, you want to integrate a workflow. So you are not interested in Python, in data analytics, etc., but you have a program, you have 15 people, and you want to create a project. You want to create a project to further go into this business case. Now, what I can do, you can contact me. I can give you a link. You can look at the LinkedIn page of me, and then don't contact me, because there are many people contacting me. What you can do is I can provide you can send it to my team, to me in a message. First thing you do is contact me, connect me to me, then you follow me on LinkedIn, and then also what you want to do is you want to send me a message, and my team will pick it up, and the message says, I'm interested to create a project or a program. But you need to have 15 people in your team, and you need to be able to create a workflow and a project to dive deeper in. Now, for selected people which have more than 15 members in their team that create a new project, I have an offering also, and the offering is not next week, etc. It's on a daily basis. I have an offering that I want to discuss the project with you. And then after 1 hour, if you qualify, you will have 1 hour of my time. And after 1 hour, we will see if this works for us or not to continue. Okay? But we will be working in a team. We will be putting the project in a project program that I have. And then we will be mapping your process to do that. That is if you already want to implement. You already have a project, you have budget. This is not free. You need to have a budget, and you need to say, okay, I want to run a pilot of 2 months, and after that pilot of 2 months, Ronnie, we're going to upgrade, and then I'm going to have a team of 15 people 1 year working on this. Okay, so you could be a company that's creating, that wants to dive into this business case of transportation, but you don't know how to manage that project, and you want to have at least 15 people. Those people can be people internally in your business. So now maybe you are in Latin America, you have 15 people, they speak English, we also speak Spanish, but they speak English, and you want to have a team, and they are working on this business case in this transportation sector niche. Okay? And you want something. You want to make business, you want to make money. Now, I'm interested in your process, I'm interested in your business case. Maybe you are already far, but you need to have 15 people, you need to have a budget, and you need to be able to consider, like, okay, we're going to do a pilot of 2 months, and after the pilot of 2 months, we're going to scale up in 1 year. Only the people, I have to limit my time, only the people who have 15 members in their team or more. Those members could be the head of the department, the head of the whole, each department in your business, the head of a unit, whatever. Those members, they will be in your team, and those are the key people to execute your vision to earn more money. Okay? Then contact me in LinkedIn. Tell me project program. The code is project program transportation, project program transportation. So you contact me, you write, you follow me, you connect to me, and you say project program transportation, and then you say your country and a brief description, and my team will pick it up, and then we will send you a link to book a 1 hour free free meeting with me where we discover your process. Okay, so now let's move to let's change. So if you need an API, and the API is the application programming interface, how would you do that? Now, the next screen I'm showing you, it's not going to be any recommendations. These people, they are not sponsoring any of the show. So this is just, I typed it in and I just I typed it in and I just looked at Google, and this is an API. So I googled on API, and the API of, I think, the flights, API of flights. So what do you see here? I'm looking at API of flights, and the API of flights is this is a provider of API of flights. So apparently this business has something about the flights in the world, flight status. So where are we in the process? We now want to have more data about that transportation sector in Latin America. And we want to have more data, not macroeconomic data, because I already have macroeconomic data, as I will show you, but we want to have data about the containers and the flights. Because if we know how is the container business moving, or how is the flights to all these countries, we are not going to call all those people and look, but we Python programmers, data science programmers, artificial intelligence programmers, we want to get the data because we are a knowledge company. I'm not a training only company. I'm a knowledge company and an investment company and a business advisory company. So when I approach, this is just to show you how we work, and also with my my experts like Hazel in the Netherlands. Hazel, the transportation sector specialist. How we work is we approach these kind of things, and I'm just giving you a little bit tip of the iceberg. Yes, something. I'm showing you behind the screens, behind the curtains, how we do it. So the second thing is the API, and people will charge you many monies. If many money, a lot of money. So if you go to the other big consultancy services and you don't want to work with a consultant from the Caribbean, you're going to pay the high price, and they're not going to tell you this. But I'm showing you, because I have nothing to lose, I'm showing you and I'm delivering you value for free right now, how we do it. Okay? So what you do is you would go and find an API, and that API will give you the flight status, historical flight status, schedules, the connections, the airlines, the airports, the equipment, the alerts, everything. So what if I need to know something about Brazil? I don't know if this API works for the global market, but I'm looking for the top global market API about flights. Okay? And once I have that, I will get things like our airports. So look at the airports. We already found the airports, the big airport companies, and now learn more airport API documentation. Okay? So there is a whole documentation on how would you get this airport information into your system? Now look at this. We understand this as Python, data science, artificial intelligence, and Hazel, my expert, transportation expert in the Netherlands, who maybe I'm going to invite in this episode. If you have any question and projects for Hazel, just click here below, leave it below. If it's on LinkedIn, on YouTube, leave it below, and we will see that your project, if it is interesting, if you apply, we're going to do it. So we know these things, and we know that how we can get this information to the airport. Airport by country code. Look at this. If I want the airport by country code, I'm going to do this. So based on this, we can dive into the transportation sector niche that we are discussing. We can go to the business case, and we can now dive in and provide you with information about what is going to happen. Are there any flights? How many flights are there for your specific situation, for your specific business case? So imagine you bring your 15 people team and you apply to get 1 hour of our time, and it is related to transportation sector, to this episode, because it needs to be related to this episode. Imagine you have that business case. Then we're going and we are working on that business case during the pilot phase, etc., to launch, to scale up. Then we're going to dive deeper into this specific and provide you with more additional data about this. So that's one of the key things API, and I hope you see the value that now at this stage we are deep in the transportation sector niche, and we are working on this business case. Okay, so what are we doing? We started again with the whole country, the region. We had a thesis that we can make money, and now from the Caribbean and from the Netherlands, from an island, we already have the data that we can tap into the specifics of the airports, etc. Do you see the value? Do you see how this is happening? Can you see how this is happening? Now let's move to the container business, because those were the flights. And by the way, many Caribbean islands, we are already in the transportation business in the Caribbean. Because why? Because we are transporting people in the United States, and we are transporting them to paradise. Look at that, paradise. So we are already in the transportation business, because we are islands or big ocean states, and you cannot get to us, you cannot get to paradise if you are not on a plane. So that's why. And you can also be on a ship. We call it cruise ships. You can be on a plane, and then after that transportation business that we are already in, you arrive at us and you experience our beautiful beaches, culture, lifestyle, music, people, food. That's the business. So already we are in that business, transportation business, but we are at the end of the destination. Okay, so just a tip: if you have been following and you want to make more money out of the transportation business, why don't you buy the airplanes stocks that are related to Latin America and the Caribbean? Because then you will be earning money based on the growth of the population of the Latin America, because you bought a piece of the airplane. You own the airplane. Okay, that is just a free advice. It's not an advice, it's just a tip, educational purposes. But in the programs I'm telling you, in the Python programs, in our Island Wealth Academy, Investment Academy, that I am also going to launch, the Island Wealth Investment Academy, you will see those kind of things, because we're going deeper. We're going deeper. Now, let me show you the container part. I have two things more to show you. The container part. So let me show you the screen share. The container. So this is another website where we see the container and track your container now. So this is also an API, but not the API of the flights, but the API of container. Because how much money goes through the container? How much value is created through containers? You understand? So there are people flying, business people, tourists. I know all the data for the Caribbean. I can get that data for Latin America also, macroeconomic data. That's an indicator. But now we know how many containers. So if we know that, track a container, we need to go to this, maybe this one, create an account, sign in, all kind of things, shipping. It's not. They are not discussing. They are not discussing the API. But I would like to have this thing as an API because I want the application programming interface to see if I'm going to invest. You see, book a demo. I'm not interested in the demo. Development. Maybe there is some API status. Okay, that's what we want. We want the API so that we know, are they providing data or not? And like I said to you, my expert, Hazel, she with her company will also is an expert in these kind of things. So certain things, macroeconomic analysis, I do. Certain modeling, investing, I do. But when it comes to transportation, I have my experts who are smarter than me, because I'm surrounded by people who are smarter than me. If they are dumber than me, not smarter than me, then I cannot provide you value. So I'm looking for people who are better, smarter than me. So you see here, IP addresses, authentication, everything. So this looks like a container. Get real container tracking API. Now, when you see my price and you see the offer and you see the monthly costs, etc., for API, etc., now you know what it means. It is the basic data foundation that I need to provide you for your business case, for your transportation business case, so that you can make money. Okay? So this data is needed. If you are working in a transportation sector, you want to create a hub of Curacao, St. Lucia, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, Turks and Caicos, Jamaica. You want Montserrat, small island with a volcano, I think, right? Montserrat. You want Antigua and Barbuda, even Curacao, St. Martin. If you are one of those 12 islands, the 8 islands in the Eastern Caribbean, together with Jamaica, Curacao, St. Martin, and Turks and Caicos, if you are there and you are a business and you want a piece of this, you want the hub, you want to develop the hub concept, that you say, okay, people come to me. I hope I have shown you today that the hub is actually digital. They don't care where you are. There is no container coming to your country, not ever, because we are not going to bring any container to your country, to your island, so that we can process it, so that it can go to Europe. We used to do that business case, but there is on Curacao, but there's no business case for that. The business case is the food is going, the food and the products are going to Latin America. Latin America is going to grow. There is food going out, so processed food, etc., processed product, manufactured products are going in Latin America from China, everything, and then from Latin America to the rest of the world. There's going like meat, agricultural products, and maybe minerals. It's going out. So that's the business case, that's the value chain, and on top of that, there are many businesses making money. You have seen it today. So finally, I want to show you something. Let me see if I can get that for you, because if I show you that part, you're going to love this. And I've already shown you this in the past. I've shown you this kind of stuff so that you can see how it is done, because I want you to just see if we can. Let me see if we can show you a piece of the puzzle. Now I'm going to launch something, and let me see. Good. Now, bam, we are there. So what is this? What is this? Ronnie, you're going too fast, and you're going at the end of the show. Why are you bringing all this stuff? Why are you bringing all this stuff? This is too complicated. No, I just want to show you what is possible. So there are companies in the Caribbean. These people, they are networked like me. They work with people all over the world, data scientists, artificial intelligence, and they do business. So if you believe that artificial intelligence is not in the Caribbean, that Python programmer, data scientists are not in the Caribbean, you are wrong. We are all over the place, and we are connected, and we are investing heavily in this. Now, what do you see here? What you see here is just a tip of the iceberg that I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a little bit basically of my process behind the scene. Now, if you work in the program, or if you work with me during a project of a pilot, etc., if you work, you can send your team to me, and I will teach them how to use these programs, these frameworks of data scientists, data science, and artificial intelligence. And this is not ChatGPT. This is not chatting only with ChatGPT like everybody, but this is programming Python and connecting right away. Connecting with an API and getting data. Connecting with the travel API and getting data. Connecting with the flight API and getting data. Now, I'm showing you right now how we connect to the IMF database, International Monetary Fund, and getting data about those islands, about those countries that we are interested in for the transportation sector. We can also hook up to the database of the World Bank and getting other data. IMF is more financial data. This is financial data because we want to see what is this, how are these countries of Latin America? Are they rich? Are they wealthy? What is their population? Okay, I didn't study the population and all the indicators, but I'm going for you right away. So this is one part of the workshop, but I'm interested in this workshop is the workshop that I've given to one of the episodes I've given in my 8-week program, Python Island Wealth Management, creating digital assets. And a digital asset is just like this. This is a digital asset you're seeing here on screen because it facilitates your life. This digital asset is a program that can run every day, whatever, at night, while you are sleeping. The next morning you will get a report. Now, let me show you what the report is. This report is, imagine, the report is the code. This is our code, and look at it. I'm going for Brazil because I want to look at Brazil. So I'm looking at my database and I'm saying this code is actually saying find a country that contains bra, because I don't know the code of Brazil, and it gives me Gibraltar, Gib, that's I think it's an island, and Bra from Brazil. So I'm interesting. Bra is Brazil. So look at this code. If you want, next time we'll do it live. But if you want another, Salvador, what else they say? Panama, I can go to this code and say, give me Panama. Now, let's look at that. So BRA is Brazil. Remember that. I need this code. I put the country as code. And then through this country code, BRA, it's a 3-digit code, I'm going to get all the indicators of that country, because now we are going to focus on Brazil, on the transportation sector of Brazil, because now we have a business. Maybe you already contacted me on LinkedIn and you put transportation project, 15 people transportation project, you put that and my team picked it up, and then we say, okay, they qualify, I'm going to give them. Now, then I'm studying Brazil. The more information you give me, the better I'm going to be prepared in that meeting with you, your team. And then Brazil means we're diving into the country of Brazil and we don't focus on all the region. So this is BRA. But imagine we have, let me see, Panama. I want to know what the code is Panama. So that you know that this is not being prepared and this is actually running. Look at this, PAN. So Panama is PAN. So then I say here, I make a note here, PAN is Panama. Which other country we saw? We saw also, let me see, Peru. So what's the code of Peru? Peru is PER. So PER is Peru. What else did we have? I don't remember anymore. Let me see. Costa Rica. Let me see. Costa. What I'm doing is I'm putting the code in. This code is going to the IMF website and it's going to get this code. Now actually it's going to a spreadsheet I have created and it with all the countries in the world, and then the spreadsheet is called countries and it's going to get that code, because you cannot put Costa Rica in the program because the program doesn't know Costa Rica. The program knows CRI is Costa Rica. Costa Rica. Now let's do another one, because a lot of people want from Curacao, they want to go to Colombia. Are there businesses in Colombia? Colombia. Yeah, what is the code of Colombia? We don't have Colombia. Okay. Let's see. Maybe Yeah, Colombia. So the code of Colombia is COL. So if you want to do business with all these countries, then now maybe you want to do something with Venezuela. Yeah, then the country is VEN. So VEN. So this is all. Now this database is not only, of course, of Latin America, but it is also, you can have Middle East, you can use Europe, you can use any country in the world. It contains all the countries in the world. But what I'm interested in is to look at the indicators that we have for Brazil. So you choose Brazil. We're looking at all these indicators. So now we found the country. We're looking at all these indicators, and all these indicators are the indicators, the real sector indicators that we can be using. So we can look at GDP per capita. If we want GDP per capita, then we need to add this PPPC in there. If we need consumer prices, do they have high consumer prices? Because if there is a lot of inflation, then it is unstable, and we are not going to make much money if there is unstable hyperinflation in that economy. So population will also be here. There are many 128 indicators only about the real sector. These are just a couple of them. So we could be looking at the monetary indicators and the real indicators. You see here? GDP per capita is very important. And now, population, all these. And now, I'm just going to put BRA. And I'm going to put the GDP per capita in Brazil. Are there? So what do you see here? There is a graph. I say create graph, and this graph is the code, the digital asset that we created, and this digital asset, it's working for me 24 hours. It can work 365 per day. It never goes on holiday. It never complains. It never strikes. It's never sick. So this code is providing me with graphs, and with that graph, you can analyze for this transportation sector. Do you see that? Do you see that? So do you see the power of, for instance, getting this data for your specific country that you are interested in, for creating a hub, for analyzing? Do you see the power? Now Brazil has a 25, let's say 2022, Brazil has about 15,000 per capita. So the income, average income of Brazil is 15,000 US dollars. That you see. This is the indicator. If you want other indicators, you need to dive in. You need to book a session with me. And if you apply for the session with 15 people or more in your team, and you want to maybe have a pilot of 2 months and then scale up, then you qualify. Get to my LinkedIn page, rooney@calmera.nl. That's my email. But connect with me on LinkedIn, connect with me, and send me a message and follow me. So this is the GDP. So when you use this GDP, you know already that Brazil has a lower GDP per capita than Curacao, has probably lower than Bermuda, has much lower than Luxembourg, because Luxembourg has $160,000 GDP per capita. So Luxembourg is basically 10 times or 9 times wealthier on average than Brazil. So Brazil can be very large, much larger than Luxembourg, but Luxembourg is 10 times on average wealthier. So to show you that, I've done this many times before. I'm going to put Lux in there because I know Luxembourg is the indicator of Luxembourg. For the same indicator, GDP per capita, and look at Luxembourg, it's 160,000. So they are wealthy because they are based on finance. We can also look at Hong Kong, we can look at Singapore, we can look at other small islands, etc. But now we're focusing on this. So this is how you would look at it. Now the other indicator is debt. So I would say BRA. Let me get the debt of Brazil, because are they in debt? Are they in debt? What's the debt percentage? You see here when you're doing business with them. Okay, it increased a little bit. So between 2014 and 2022, it increased to 80%. That's higher than 60%. You see Brazil had a problem around 1986. So when you go to Brazil, you can talk to them without knowing, ever visiting Brazil. You can talk to them. You can talk to them with a Zoom online and say, hey guys, you have a 1986, you had a problem. Also, yeah, this is your situation compared to. This information you can use for negotiations when you're doing business with Brazil, because now you know something about their country. Okay, and this is what the services that we provide. Okay, so now I'm going to end this session. It was a great session. It was a great session. Thank you for being here. I think we went way beyond 1 hour. We're trying to give it 1 hour only, but sometimes I want to give you a long content piece for value. My goal is for you to have wealth, whether you are living on an island or whether you are related to an island, you come from an island, you are living in Europe, United States, you are living in the Netherlands, you are living in Latin America, but you come from an island. My focus, my lenses for the world is through the island lens, because I'm focusing on island wealth, right? But from an island, you have seen that we can analyze the world, we can analyze a sector, we can analyze the region, Latin America, in this site, in this episode. You have seen that we can work on a business case, on creating wealth for the transportation sector, delivering a piece of value in that value chain on the transportation sector. You have seen how we work with several consultants like Hazel, and shout out again to Hazel for discussing this to me. And Hazel Alberts, you want to follow her because she's the transportation expert I'm working with. Highly friendly professional, and also value all her time and money. And it is very, very rare that you are a transportation expert who also has the background in programming, has the background in econometrics. I mean, these people are very, very scarce, but I'm happy to know one of them, and she can provide value to you. So this episode is dedicated actually to Hazel for helping me with this research, and I provided today to you from Island Wealth opportunities that you can create wealth. How do you approach the hub problem, the hub challenge? I hope you have seen that it is not only about sea and container ships, etc. It's not also about bringing containers to your country and processing that. That's another business case. But you want to add value to the value chain. And you can add value whether you are in a software business. You can create an app, you can create data science services, you can create insights, you can create dashboards. You can also help companies that want to develop their business case with program and project management online, workflow management online. That's what I do. So that's my business, how I approach this. And you can also train companies to provide services, artificial intelligence services, also using artificial intelligence and using also models and data and Python and programming. Now we approach this as an investment case. That's why we also talked about market cap, about which companies are earning money in the Latin American transportation food chain. Hope you found this valuable, and if you say, okay, let's contact, what should I do now? Okay, so I'm not here. This is the end screen. You don't see me, but still you don't see me, but still you will see the join our community. Join our community for free and receive Island Wealth building tips, Beyond Island Wealth channel episodes, and invites only to special wealth building programs. So if you are there, you are interested, this time you want to go to www.bit.ly/Island Wealth, and then there you can join. And what you join is you join a virtual, very important person VIP lounge, and that VIP lounge will help you, because when you raise your hand, you're in there. You will receive other information that we are not sharing here. You will receive information about how you can build your wealth. You can receive information about also how you can actually continue working with us in a program, etc., etc. So this is it. This was it, and I'm going to finish now. Thank you very much. See you. This was Rooney Calmera from Island Wealth, the place where we build your wealth on island states in the Caribbean and the 57 islands in the world. And today we had an episode that is transportation sector in Latin America. How can we make more money out of that from an island? Bye. See you.